finally starting. It's Tuesday morning. Just got to the starting point. We're doing, well, it'll be a little over 18 miles because we stayed a mile away from here.
Yeah, so we walked a mile to get to the trailhead, but we also had a massive breakfast, so we should have plenty of energy for today.
We're about 2/3 through our day now. We were just passing through Dryman, had lunch, then it started pouring, so we put on our ridiculous ponchos.
Right. Dryman's like 12 miles from Mogai, but we took, we took a couple detours. We almost went to a distillery, but they only did tours that took too long, so
Which, you know.
we skipped it. So at this point, my feet are pretty soaked. Actually, my everything's pretty soaked, except for hopefully the backpacks under these ponchos.
Hopefully.
But we decided to take the longer route, even though it's raining, because it gets us up the hill, which you can't even see. So we'll probably have similar views from the top. Just an extra mile and a half from the shorter route, so hopefully not a big deal. But we'll hopefully get some good shots from the top if the rain lets up a little bit.
It's the end of the first day.
Woo, we did it.
So we made it to Balmaha. The day was a lot longer than it was going to be. What did we do? We took a few side trips. We went by a whiskey distillery thinking that maybe we'd be able to do a tasting and then just go back on. But unfortunately, they don't just do tastings. You'd have to do a full tour, and we didn't really have time to do one if we were going to get to the location we wanted to.
Yeah, they sneakily charge £50 for the 45-minute tour, but only £18 for the 75-minute tour. And I think it's because they know that people who are going through there on the West Highland Way are kind of time constrained. So they charge more for the quicker tour.
Yeah, so we didn't do that, but at dinner tonight we did do a flight from their distillery.
Yeah,
So
for £22. We got to try 3 things, so joke's on them.
let's see, it ended up being like 24.5 miles, right?
24 miles, yeah.
Got
Very, very wet for the second half.
Oh yeah, it was supposed to be the last third in mileage. It took that long,
Yeah.
so it was the harder part. Like it's when we went up the hill, and
Yeah, we started to flag, but we saw Harry Coos, which was awesome, and we got a great view of Loch Lomond, even though it was like really rainy.
it was absolutely gorgeous.
We got to, by taking the longer route, we got to go through the
Trossachs National Park.
Jurassic Park, and saw some really tall trees, which was very nice. So all in all, I'm glad we took the longer route, even though it was raining, and it just made the dinner and fire, that much better at the end.
Yeah, now we're looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, we have to dry all our shoes and stuff out though, of course. So we got the hair dryer.
Day 2. We're about to leave Balmaha and start on our way to Inverarnen.
This is one of the long days. So yesterday was supposed to be one of the shorter days, but
I think we made it longer.
We did a lot of detours, which made it pretty long. So assuming we actually follow the trail, today should be about 21 miles. So we'll see how that works out. It's also one of the more, once we get out of the town, it's one of the more remote sections where there aren't really any shops or anything along the way.
So hopefully we didn't forget anything.
So yeah, hopefully we have everything we need on us. And it's also along Loch Lomond the whole way, so it's a good stretch of lakes.
We've made it to Inversnaid. It's like 2/3 of our day. It's been pretty good so far. A little muddy. We haven't been rained on yet.
No.
We took the ponchos out because we probably will get rained on.
We got such an early start that we actually left Balmaha before anything was open, so we couldn't get like a hot breakfast.
And then we arrived in the next place like an hour before they start serving lunch.
We got to the next town too early for anything to be open for lunch. And then we ended up getting to the next town too late for anything to be open for lunch. The kitchens were closed until dinner.
So trail snacks it is.
So yeah, trail snacks for all of our meals. But the hotel here in Inversnaid is actually very nice. They have this whole walker's entrance where you can take, they make you take your shoes off and everything because everyone's covered in mud, but you don't have to buy anything. You can just sit there, charge, use the Wi-Fi. I was saying that if you just sold sandwiches, you could charge like 10 pounds for a sandwich and people would be buying them. But they have their kitchens closed and they apparently don't. They sell like little cakes and stuff, but that's not really any better than the granola we have. So
Yeah, we'd like to do something substantial.
yeah. So hopefully we'll survive to the next step because I think I'm severely under calories right now, and have no appetite because these trail snacks just like
It's
hard to eat a lot of them. It's hard to eat 2,000. I'm like at 2,500 calories of mixed nuts and granola and protein bar and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to real food. Maybe some vegetables even.
Definitely vegetables. So we didn't do a summary last night. We didn't get in until pretty late.
We kind of passed out after we ate some food.
We broke some step records. I got 65,000 for the first time.
I got 63,000 and change, which I think prior to that I hadn't even broken 55, so considerably more steppage. Geographically, I think we only moved like 21 miles and change.
Yeah, though
like,
Fitbit thinks it's more.
Yeah, Fitbit thinks it's more, but because of the topography and the type of movement, it was a lot of steps. And it was very wet at the end of the day, and our shoes are still wet because there's no good way to dry them here.
And
now
we should
it's starting
be.
to rain again.
Actually, I should take a poncho out then. But
Perfect. It's supposed to be dry this morning, it said.
Yeah, yesterday was beautiful, just soggy.
Yeah, I mean, look at behind us. It's just so nice.
And today is supposed to be 19 and a half miles to Bridgebaki.
There were goats in the field, but they're not there anymore. So this morning I feel a little sore, a lot of sore actually. My feet are pretty in pain from all the wet socks walking yesterday. So I'm hoping it doesn't get too wet today. Although it's raining now, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a poncho out soon.
Wish us luck.
We're in the beginning of the last stretch for the day, and the terrain's been a little easier than the last 2 days. We haven't been soaked to the bone yet.
Yeah, it was off and on rainy this morning, but after that it wasn't so bad.
And we actually got to eat real fruit today.
Yeah, twice. We had an apple that was terrible, but still an apple, and fruit salad. Very nice. Good change of pace. I also ate an entire tube of Pringles though, so swings and roundabouts. End of day 3.
So it's technically more than half of the trail, but we're counting it as half because we're doing a day 6 climbing Ben Nevis.
Yeah, I'm definitely not feeling fully recovered, so hopefully a couple ibuprofen and a good night's sleep will do the trick. Last night wasn't the best sleep because we were on like sleeping pads rather than a bed. Now we've got like bed in this nice little.
It's a cute little hut.
Hut? Yeah, it's a hut. It's round and cute.
Today was nice. It rained a bit in the morning, but it didn't like completely soak through like the first 2 days.
Yeah, it was just a light rain. It wasn't too bad at all. So the feet didn't stay entirely dry because there's still a lot of puddles in the trail that sometimes you couldn't get around. But
we also didn't get our shoes completely dry from yesterday.
Yeah, and they weren't completely dry from yesterday, but definitely a lot better than yesterday. So we'll check the weather, but as of yesterday when we checked, the weather is supposed to be even more dry tomorrow. So hopefully that holds up, although the weather people have been wrong pretty much the entire time.
Yeah, but tomorrow is like what's considered the hardest day. So it's one of the 2 days that's 21 miles, plus it has the highest elevation for the part on the trail.
Yeah. So tomorrow is definitely going to be the climax of the trip because the last day is really short. It's only 14 miles, so that should be like a walk in the park at that point.
Give us a full
walk in the park with a lot of blisters, but like
it'll give us half a day to recover before we climb the mountain.
Yeah. Day 4, which is the hard day. 21 miles ish, and the highest elevation, including Devil's Staircase.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. You can tell it's pretty windy. It rained all night last night, so I'm sure the trail will be very wet.
We're hoping that it just means it also won't rain the rest of the time that we're actually out.
Right. fingers crossed. There's just no actual rain today.
We're about halfway through our day. Just stopped for lunch. So glad to get real food today because we were a little concerned about that.
Yeah, luckily there was this little mountain lodge just slightly off the way, so we managed to get some real food, burger, fruit. Look, real fruit. We're so excited. My brains aren't working.
No, it's a little bit tired today, but we're still enjoying the gorgeous views, and it's good exercise. We like being outside.
It's definitely exercise.
I mean, there are obviously moments where we're like, why are we doing this in 5 days? Day 4 over. So we made it to Kinloch Levin, and it was supposed to be the hardest day, but I think that's just because there's the most elevation, and it really wasn't. Like, rain definitely made day 2 harder than day 4.
Yeah, day 2 is much harder physically and mentally, I think. Today, because of like cumulative fatigue, and like my feet are not in great condition anymore, it was a bit of a tough go, but we made it in about 10 hours in like the same distance as day 2. And day 2 took like 12.
And
So
it's absolutely stunning. Like, the scenery, I'm in love with Scotland.
yeah, the views from like the top of Devil's Staircase were just so nice.
And it was the first day that we didn't have to break out the ponchos, which
Yeah,
was fantastic.
it was dry, thankfully, very dry, which my feet are very much thankful for because I have walked holes in my shoes, not in the soles but in the sides, so the waterproofing isn't up to snuff.
Day 5.
All right.
So it's the last 14 miles.
Easy day.
And yeah, we're looking forward to it.
I woke up this morning, my feet felt so much better than they did the last couple of days, so I'm actually kind of looking forward to today. Yesterday I was like dreading the start. But today I'm like, I feel good. I feel ready.
And that's always a good thing.
And that's a good thing. So we'll see you at the end of the trail in Fort William in, I don't know.
A few hours. 96 miles in 5 days. Probably a little more than 96, but we don't have an accurate count for that. We did take a few side trips.
Right, we went to get some resupply shops a few times, so probably closer to 100, but it doesn't matter at that point, I think. We did it.
We did it. Was it a little insane? Maybe. We got a lot of surprised looks when we did talk to other hikers, and we discussed how long we were doing it, and because the majority of people were doing it in 7 or 8.
Yeah, 5 days was, no one else that we talked to was doing it in 5.
Yeah, doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
just
it
means we
happens.
didn't come across it.
It's on the official itineraries list, so we did it. I would have probably preferred 7, I think, having done it.
For the next trek.
For next time, I'll know probably 15 miles a day is the sweet spot. But now we're eating lunch, and then we'll probably grab a well-deserved beer, and then we have to get back to life and probably go grocery shopping, because
otherwise we won't be able to eat the rest of the week.
right, we want to cook. We really want some home cooked food. So, bye.
Day 6 bonus day. We're climbing Ben Nevis.
The tallest peak in the UK, so probably not like trivial and maybe a bit ambitious after our 5 previous days to this doing the West Highland Way, but I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm really looking forward to a week of working as a programmer where I don't do any of this. But I think having done this will be, getting to the top will be amazing, I'm sure.
Yeah, astounding views.
One eternity later.
Challenge done. We just finished climbing Ben Nevis, day 6 after doing the 5-day 96-mile trek. Took
Yeah,
about
bonus
6
day.
hours for our bonus day.
Yeah, up and back was 6 hours. The views on the way up were great. The views at the top were non-existent because you're basically in a cloud. But we even did the little summit on the summit to the highest point,
And
which
it
was
was really
nice.
it was really great. We actually also just ended up hiking up with somebody and had
Yeah.
a really long conversation, and it was a nice change of pace.
Yeah, we met a guy from the English military, and he's actually in the Air Force, and it was really cool. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff, including politics and um, you know, doing things like this, or his wife is doing this crazy coast to coast race.
Which is 105 miles. It mixes running, biking, and kayaking.
Yeah, very intense. She's doing it in 2 days. Some people do it in one. But our bonus day is complete. We'll let our feet and legs rest and heal for the next week as we go back to our boring day jobs for a
And
bit.
then we'll see you in Cardiff.
And then we'll be in Cardiff.